Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and today I am going to be doing a review of my new oracle card deck called the Conscious Spirit Oracle Deck, and it's written and illustrated by Dreyer. And I'll show you the backs of the cards first. The backs of the cards are so beautiful. In fact, I think this might even be one of my favorite things about this deck is just the way they look on my coffee table. They're so pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the deck as I talk about the cards, just so you can have a look at the cards and get a feel for them. So this deck it's an oracle card deck, and it has a very magical feel to it. A very feminine, very gentle feel. And the first thing I noticed about this deck when I took it out of the box and looked through it was how it totally radiated light. It just has this beautiful light and loving energy, and just looking at the cards made me feel so calm and happy. And whenever I want a sort of a pick-me-up, I just kind of look through this deck and I immediately feel better. And since I got this deck, I've been doing one card daily draws with it. So in the morning I'll draw a card. And what I find is really neat is that on the cards there's an affirmation at the bottom. So this one says, "I invite Archangel Gabriel to bring hope and intuition into my life." And this one says, "I release that which does not serve my higher purpose with gratitude and love." So the meaning on the card can also easily be used as an affirmation. So you could use it as like an affirmation for the day, which is really neat. And one thing I really like about these cards, well, first of all, they've got a nice feel to them. Like they feel, like they're good quality. They've got a matte finish. And they feel, sturdy, but they're not super thick. So they feel nice to shuffle. And one thing I really like is the borders on the cards. And I normally don't like borders on cards, but for some reason with this deck, it really works. It's got it looks like kind of like a ribbon at the top. And for some reason, that just really works for me. I really like the way the borders look on this deck. This is a very earthy deck, so you've got the 4 elements are represented throughout this deck, and there's the Mother, Maiden, and Crone cards. There's angels and fairies, but it definitely has a very earthy feel to it, but also a very, fantasy-like kind of spiritual energy as well, which is really neat. And since I've been doing readings with this deck, I've noticed that the more open I am to guidance and the more I kind of let go of any kind of preconceived idea about what cards I want to get, the better my readings are, which could be said for any deck, but I find that it applies to this deck especially. When I first got the deck, I was, asking specific questions and yes/no questions, which rarely bring about a satisfying reading anyway, but I wasn't really getting anywhere. And then I kind of let go of that and started asking more open-ended questions like, what do I need to know right now, or what area of my life should I be focusing on? And that's when I started to get really cool insights and guidance with this deck. So as you can see, these cards are gorgeous. I just love these cards. I love the style of art. I love everything about this deck, but most of all, I think what I get from this deck is the energy that it radiates. And it's funny because I noticed that right away as soon as I took the cards out of the box, is that they have this beautiful, beautiful energy that you feel when you work with them. And all the cards are very uplifting and positive, and every card kind of gives you a little bit of guidance that you can work with. So like I said, there's, you know, like an affirmation on the bottom, or some sort of piece of advice, something that you can do. So they're very empowering in that respect. I like this card. Actually, this might be one of my favorite cards. I really like this one. And the images are the kind of images that you can really enter into. So if you do any kind of meditating with cards, and a cool exercise to do with oracle cards, especially this deck, is to enter the card. So that's when you gaze at the card and you kind of imagine yourself stepping through the card and, you know, walking into the scene and, you know, talking with the characters that are there. This is a really nice one too. Actually, I like this card a lot. I like the owl in the corner there. That's a nice one as well. I've been getting this card a lot lately. So I would recommend this deck for anyone who is, you know, interested in spiritual development, or anyone who's on a, you know, a spiritual path, and anyone who loves fantasy art and fairies and angels and stuff like that. You will absolutely love this deck. It's just gorgeous. And it, oh yeah, and it also talks about the chakras. There's a card for each chakra in this deck as well, which is kind of neat. Yeah, so I highly recommend this deck. It has become one of my favorite oracle card decks to, especially to do, you know, one card daily readings from. And it's called the Conscious Spirit Oracle deck, and it does come with a little guidebook, and I'll show you the guidebook. So it comes with a guidebook, and actually, I'll read part of the guidebook because I think it's relevant. She says here in the introduction that the cards were designed to gently and lovingly share their wisdom and the wisdom of the universe with you, allowing you to find your soul's purpose, and in so doing, raise the energy of Earth and bring about healing, compassion, and love for all life. And I feel like this deck does that beautifully. Like, it really radiates that, you know, that loving energy. And then she's got descriptions and further explanations of each card, which is really quite good. It's really well written, and it's really helpful. If you get a card and you're not really sure what it means, she's got really helpful explanations of each card. So, highly recommended. I think you will absolutely love this deck. It's gorgeous. It's got a beautiful, beautiful energy, and it's, you know, quickly becoming one of my favorite decks. Okay, so my name is Kate. I'm from dailytarotgirl.com, and thank you so much for watching.